so today I am making my Confetti Blossom Soap. And the first thing I need to do is mix up the kaolin clay. And you know what? I keep trying to keep track of this myself. I'm going to go ahead and put in the coconut milk. I'm going to go ahead and add in some titanium dioxide and go ahead and get that blended in a bit too before I have to worry about over blending. Now it is a bit of an oil and water situation, but I find it still works okay to try to get it blended. And to make sure that my lye solution was the right one, I have them marked via blue tape. This one is on the side for the different batches, and I have it noted on my recipe. I just had to make sure I had the right one. I know I want to go ahead and give it some more titanium dioxide. I don't want it to crackle, but the white is my dominant look here. This does have a cream color to me. I noticed that in the editing portion that a lot of my whites do look whiter than they necessarily are. So in with my fragrance. That is probably good enough. You know what? I need to get something for my blender here. I have soap shreds from 2 different batches. And I think I'm going to set aside something different for the top. Make my own blend here. So you may not be able to see this. I know I want a bit of, well, I'm going to go and put those in. I know I want some of these for the top. This is a little thin and delightful, so we're going to put those in. I'm going to keep some of these shreds that I have for the top because they're 2 different batches, but they're 2 different palm-free batches. They have definitely different coloring. And there's that one. And there's the other. So you can see one is a bit more pastel than the other. And so in with the rest. Now these are coming off of a different batch. I keep probably blocking you. So they have this one here has a little different scent. It's a little bit of an appley rose. But I don't think it's going to be a bother with my Confetti Blossom, which is definitely just a spring floral of hydrangeas and tulips. And what else is in there? We've got some like rain and fresh spring air and all sorts of just lovely notes of spring. So I am just going to stir this about. It looks to be the right thickness for me to get this into my mold nicely without the shreds falling to the bottom. So here I have my top shreds put aside. Alright, so into the mold it goes. I did want to do a little bigger batch than this, but I'm kind of limited by my molds right now to do a really tall one. I was hoping to bring out my Big Daddy slab mold, but it wasn't big enough for my height. I think it always looks like funfetti cake batter or rainbow chip cake batter or icing. I used to love that stuff. I don't really eat it anymore, but that was like one of my favorites as a kid, was rainbow chip icing, frosting in the can. This is delightful. Always a favorite. We've had a lot of requests recently, and so I was making another batch that had a rainbow theme, and my eyes popped open on this day and I said, oh yes, that is what we must do with some of that rainbow soap. We need it in our lives. I usually follow this with like my striped rainbow soap, but I don't have plans to make it quite yet, but I did want to go ahead and get this one available. So I need to give this an old smacker down over here. The top doesn't matter a whole lot just because I'm bringing in this shreds for the top. So one is very curly and one is more straight shred, and that's pretty typical for a new soap to come out a little bit on the straighter side, but an older soap, more well cured I should say, tends to get curlier. I do love the curl part. I'm just trying to spread this out. I don't have a whole lot of this one at this point because I saved most of the curly ones for the top. They're my favorite for the top. I've been making this for so long. It's just classic. I love it. It's one of those things I did once and I've never turned back. Same through the years. Although, I take that back. I did have, it was purple one time. I don't know if that was the original, but the fragrance is kind of yellow. So to do a purple one required just a lot more titanium dioxide and a lot more work in the long run just to end up with kind of a grayish soap. So that's why I have not gone back to that through the years. So we have used quite a lot of shreds at this point, and they're not all going to be evenly dispersed. This is an acceptable scenario. I usually try to push them down, but the last time I pushed them down I wasn't happy with it. So I'm just going to kind of swish them around so they get attached to the raw soap so they can find a position. And then we're going to use a little bit of glitter because Confetti Blossom has to have a little bit. They do have a little bit of my snowflake type biodegradable glitter. I only use biodegradable glitter now. That is just something I've decided is worthwhile for me. I just think it's important along with going palm free. Alright, so it's time to cut the Confetti Blossom Soap now. And if you remember, I did not really push these shreds down because I didn't want them to get flattened. So as a result, some of them are popping off, but plenty are remaining. Just so pretty. Each batch is just a little bit different. I'm not noticing any scent from the shreds at all, any different like note, because that one was, what did I say, like apple and rose. And the actual base scent here is quite strong, so I don't really notice much. So here we have Confetti Blossom Soap. The top is so pretty. Definitely one of my favorite soaps to use. I just love rainbows of all sorts. I have made a lot of rainbow type soaps. I made a list actually of all the rainbow soaps I've made. And it got pretty lengthy actually. And I was like, what? And once I thought I had my list completely made, I remembered 2 more later. So I do like my rainbow soaps. This is going to be in my way. So I am planning a new batch of just regular rainbow striped soap. I'm getting in a fragrance that's going to work. My original is no longer available, so I am going to come up with a substitution. That's why it's been so long since I've made it. Okay, these are getting a little bit smaller because some shreds are getting stuck there. Soap cutting is seriously a messy job. So I have knocked off most of these already, but they're the shreds, but they're dislodging. Oh, that one's pretty. You gotta. Alright, let's see here. Are you focusing? I think it's focusing. Anyway, there's that little swirl there. It's so delightful. I decided to put this one in my slab mold because there's really no reason why it needed to go into the new loaf molds. I'm going to have some more made though, because I really do like those loaf molds. But it's been fun working in my slabs as well. I've made a couple of soaps in my slabs at this point. Today is a serious soap cutting day, and then the rest of the week is going to be serious on the soap making. I have a lot coming up that I'm excited about. So much to get done. Okay, so there we have Confetti Blossom. I will talk to you guys later.